Hey, what is going on there YouTube? This is the Gaming Guy, and today I am bringing you to the full drop list for this week, which is week 11 of the fall winter season. Now, unlike last week, there is a collaboration as well this week. However, it does not highlight the week because overall, personally, it is not the best that is going to come out of Supreme this season or in a couple of seasons overall. Maybe in the future the item will be appreciated, but currently it doesn't look so strong. Obviously, I'm talking about the Nike collaboration that is going to be occurring this week. But in general, to be honest, for this week, the main pieces that are going to be highlighted are probably going to be bags, and that will pretty much be it. There's probably one item that I'm going to be going for, which is probably going to be a beanie again, or instead a camp cap. But in general, this week is looking like a bit of a sleeper week for most people, or I think just overall it'll probably be a sleeper week for people. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into this drop list. So like I said, the main highlights for this week are probably going to be the bags that are being released. That is pretty much it in my view. There are a couple of other pieces, as I said, that people still like and will probably be going for, will probably sell out. But in general, it's not looking so promising. So we're going to kick things off with the Stop Crying hooded sweatshirt. It's got a massive Supreme, like I guess you could say, logo in the front. It's a bit larger than like the small box logo hoodie that they release. But in general, it's just a small logo that is on there with a lot of text on the back of it. Personally, for me, it doesn't do anything for me, but the only colorway that would probably stick out, or maybe only two, would just be a heather grey and then the black colorway. Personally, for me, they're normally the two colorways that I'm just a fan of that do quite well, or tend to do quite well in the like resale side. But for this week, I don't know whether there is going to be any resale. Personally, for me, it just doesn't look like it's going to be an insane week. We're going to move into the bags now. That will probably be like, I don't know, they probably will be a hit piece, to be honest, because I did see a lot of people say they like the bags, they like the style and the look to them, and they could possibly be limited because of the material that they're made out of. So yeah, they are going to be the patchwork leather bags. So we've got a backpack duffel bag, I believe it's the shoulder bag. Yeah, shoulder bag. So patchwork cowhide leather with a debossed leather logo patch on it. Obviously, this is a backpack, plain and simple. This is a duffel bag, plain and simple, and this is a shoulder bag, plain and simple. Personally, for me, I think that the duffel bag is the best of the three. I am a fan of duffel bags in general, but I just think this looks cool. It gives me that sort of like Edward Scissorhands feeling from it, if you know what I mean, with just all of the patch look to it, and how it does have that like very vivid look of that, and how they stand out. But yeah, for me, I definitely won't be going for these. No matter how much I like a design like this, I already have like a fully working backpack and duffel bag and things like that, so I don't need one, to be honest. People have said there could be resale with these, but I really don't know. I think it just depends on the price, because we've never seen something like this where you've got a patchwork piece being a leather bag. They've obviously released leather bags before, but they've never released like a patchwork series of them. At the beginning of the season, my opinion wasn't so great of these, or wasn't so fond of these, but to be honest, the one piece that I did like was just the duffel bag out of them. But as I said, it all depends on the retail as to whether or not they will resell, and also if they're limited or not due to the material that is used for them. The next piece is going to be one of the pieces that I said I might possibly go for if I do go for anything this week, which is going to be the afternoon camp cap. It just gives me a very nice, like, sort of chill vibe. It reminds me of sort of like the landscape hoodies colour feel or colour pattern to it, in the sense of it's just a very light sort of vivid colours. And yeah, overall I think that this piece is one of those, or this hat is one of those that could possibly go up in price over a duration of time. Obviously camp caps in general don't tend to do well. I mean, I've got one that I think was about 80 or so pounds, and I think currently you can sell it for like 60 or 70, so it's dropped in price over the duration of time, unfortunately. But that does tend to happen with things, and I don't think camp caps are the most sought after overall. Some tend to do well, but in general they're not the strongest resell like type of item. But for me personally, I just think this is a really nice piece. Next we have the iridescent puffy jacket. Obviously this is that almost 3M looking puffy jacket with an embroidered logo on the back of it. When you go onto the back, massive embroidered logo, really great. It's like amazing that they've got an embroidered logo on the back, but the colour to it and the way that it looks, almost like you've got a flash constantly on the piece, personally for me just doesn't do a lot, and it really doesn't appeal to me that much. I think if it was just a bog standard puffy jacket without the sort of lines or stripes to them, I think it would do a lot better. I think people would like it a lot more. Saying that, some pieces do just tend to fly as soon as Supreme goes live, so we'll just have to see what happens. But for me personally, it could have been done a tiny bit better, and maybe then if they didn't have like the diagonal stripes, then the Supreme logo could be, you know, flat to it on the back. Maybe people would like that more, but I don't know. If I was going to say a colourway that I think is nice or stands out of the three, I'd probably say this grey colourway is probably the best in my view. Now we're just going to be going through the rest of the items, where, to be honest, a lot of them don't have a ton of likes, and if they do, they're also accompanied by a massive amount of dislikes. So yeah, as you can see already, they just aren't doing too well. So we're going to start off with the HQ Waffle Thermal. I think this piece actually isn't terrible, to be honest. I say that because it's relative to what they've already released this season, and personally for me, I think it might be a piece that people will go for, especially in this black colourway. Obviously, it's available in 4 different colourways, but I think this black colourway specifically isn't a bad choice to pick up in it. Now, I don't know whether or not they're going to do any embroidery with this, but for me, from what I can see, it just doesn't look embroidered. Like, I don't know, to be honest. I really can't tell. If it is embroidered, it'll be great. If it isn't, then it will sort of have the same feeling as the Comme des Garçons piece, where if you saw that sort of sweater that they had, all of the text to it just started to fall to pieces and just crack and everything. So that might happen with this piece. I'll be interested to see what the retail is on this, because this might be the piece that I pick up instead, because I am picking up a lot of like thermal related things recently. So yeah, but yeah, for me personally, the black colorway is the standout colorway in this. Then I'd probably say like the natural at the back, then between the other two. But yeah, if this is like 20 or 30 pounds, definitely not going to be. It's probably going to be a lot more. Then I'll probably end up picking it up. Next to match, we also have the HQ hoodie. Obviously, it's got the same thing that was on the back of the thermal, just on the front of the hoodie, which is embroidered. So hopefully they do the same for the thermal, but I don't know. For me personally, this doesn't have the same like impact as the thermal does, because the thermal's got like the classic Supreme logo on the front, and then the work on the back, or the information on the back. So it doesn't have that much of an impact for me personally, so I prefer the thermal over the hoodie. Next, we have a cotton field jacket. Again, massive classic Supreme logo on the front and on the back, which is embroidered in both cases. It doesn't really do a lot for me because they've released a lot of jackets like this in the past, but saying that, it still looks cool, and I'm sure a colorway or two and a couple of the sizes across all of them will definitely sell out. We then have a knit logo crusher. The main thing that I can say about this is just this Gucci colorway is just going to sell out. Like, there's no other way to put it. You're going to see posts of people saying, you know, Gucci colorway and this and that will be it. So yeah, I'm not really a massive crusher person, but I know that that colorway is definitely going to be sold out. Following that, we have the HQ beanie as well, or the new era HQ beanie. Again, I'd expect this to be embroidered. Still within the same thing, I'm going to say that I prefer the thermal over the hoodie and the beanie, just because I prefer the thermal, and that's it. If I was going to say a colourway out of all of these, I'd say probably the forest green or the natural colourway, or just the bog standard like black colourway is going to be the best out of all of them. We then have the panelled warm-up pant. I mean, we've seen it all before, is the way to put it. It's nothing special. They've released a ton of things like this before. It's a pant or warm-up pant. The only different thing about it, I guess, which it has, is that the Supreme logo is in the middle of it, and that's about it. Yeah. We then have a long sleeve top, which is obviously going to be the premium price, so like £56 to £78, or somewhere within that range is going to be. Personally, for me, I understand it, I get it, yeah, it's meant to do what it's meant to do, but it's really nothing special overall. This was one of the other pieces that I was going to be possibly going for, just because I like the speckle aspect to it, which is the stripe speckle beanie. However, the colourways are a bit all over the place. I think the best one's probably still going to be the black colourway, or this more like navy purple or violet colourway that they've got going on. But yeah, overall, I like this beanie. It hasn't got the greatest of support, but I think that it's a cool little beanie. We then have the 1-800 Buffalo plaid shirt. I'm not a plaid person. I'm not a shirt person either in this aspect, so this isn't for me. The colourways don't really do anything for me either, and I wish that they'd release this when they released the other 1-800 pieces, because I think they dropped 2 or 3 in the same week, so it would have been a bit better to drop this and maybe take a different item out and put it later on in the season. But yeah, the artwork and everything is embroidered. That's just about what I can say about it. Coming on to one of the final items, we have the Floral Stripe Cardigan. Now, normally I am a fan of floral pieces, however, I'm not a massive fan of this because, as I said, it is genuinely something I'd see my granddad wearing. That's not to say it's a bad piece or anything, but it's just not for me because I can genuinely see him wearing it. Just because he already has a load of things that have like floral pieces or floral decor to them on cardigans and different things like that. Now, sometimes these pieces are very limited. They don't have a lot of them made, which sometimes can increase the value. But in this case, I really don't know if it will even sell out at that because it has so many dislikes. I'm sure so many people just don't like it in general, but we could see it possibly sell out. Lastly, the most expensive item of the week is going to be the Supreme Nike Air Max 95 Luxe. A custom Italian made shoe, you know, or sneaker for Supreme. Yeah, personally for me, overall, I'm not a fan of them, is what I'll say, just like that. They're probably going to be limited because of what they're made out of. Out of the colorways, I think that the blue works best with their logos and things that they've included on there, which is on the toe tab or the tongue of the shoe, and then just on either side of the shoe is included as well. But for me personally, they're really not great, and yeah, I think the more that I talk about them, the more that my opinion will shift. But I think that the blue shows the logos and everything the best, and the black colorway is probably just the cleanest out of them. So that is going to cover the drop list video for this week. As always, let me know down below what you think of this week, whether you're going to be going for anything, whether you're going to be sleeping on the week, or whether you're just going to wait to see what the retails are before you decide as to what you would go for. Personally, for me, it's between the camp cap, the thermal, or the Speckle Beanie, or just sleeping in general, or, you know, picking up the Gucci Crusher. It will 100% sell out just because of that aspect. But yeah, that is going to cover the drop list. Thank you for watching, and I will see you for a live cop, possibly or not possibly. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Peace.